I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. You know, I just finished speaking at a Disrupt HR conference not too long ago. And of course, the topic was recognition. The number of people who came up after me, these are people who are in academia, these are folks who run research and development companies, these are folks who have a business built around surveying organizations about employee experience and employee engagement and satisfaction. The number of people who came up to me and said, I'm so glad you're talking about recognition. For whatever reason, it is one of the lowest areas of satisfaction and engagement in organizations. And yes, it is so simple. I'm so glad we're talking about it. Now, I could get on a soapbox about this. You know I can. If you've been watching my vlogs regularly, I soapbox about this a lot, and I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to reinforce some of the fundamentals, because if you in your organization are serious about putting recognition on the roadmap, I want you to be successful. Let me tell you the 3 things that those amazing folks who are also working in this field, what they tell me from the research. Number 1, that people don't understand just how big an impact that one driver can be. That when they go and they share with their clients that it's low on the list, it immediately gets overlooked for some of the things that seem bigger, flashier, or that seem like they're trending. So number 1, oftentimes recognition is overlooked because it's not sexy enough, it's not trendy enough. Number 2, people think it's fluffy, that they think, oh, this is just, we'll just delegate that. We'll just tell our leaders to recognize people more. But if they don't have the tools, or if they're not being recognized themselves, then we are probably setting themselves up for failure. Number 3 thing that they tell me, well, we don't have enough literature and research out there about it. Now, those of you who have read my book, Forever Recognize Others' Greatness, will know the entire 5th chapter is about the evidence and the data about how organizations are better, stronger, healthier, more productive through recognition. So the data is out there. We are just not looking at it. It's generally general papers about employee experience and employee engagement, and not diving into recognition. But those of you who are studying recognition, those of you who are practicing it in your organization, will know that it leads to greater continuous improvement and innovation, that it leads to greater trust and satisfaction in senior leadership and in the organization, and that it reduces turnover in our current talent shortage. So, what do we do about it? Well, number 1, obviously, just start practicing it. And that is, you know, top 3 ways people want to be recognized. Tell me thank you, tell me specifically what I'm doing well, and write me a thank you once in a while. So just start. Just start. Second thing is, we need to look at our people strategy. Now, I work with some great places to work, and yet they don't have a people strategy. Eventually, that's going to catch up to you. If you don't have a people strategy, you need to take a step back. You need to either work with somebody who's done it before. It could be me, it could be another expert, but you need to have a people strategy, because people are what makes your organization tick. They're the ones who continue to innovate. They're the ones who work with your customers. You need to have a people strategy, and recognition needs to be on that map. Number 3, if you have a recognition strategy in place, I strongly recommend, if it's not giving you the results you need to study it. Maybe, in fact, it is having greater success than you thought. Study it in comparison to other workplace variables such as sick time and turnover and your overall engagement results over time. But even if you sit back and you study it in terms of are people actually practicing it, the mechanisms that you have in place. And the 4th thing is, how are you leveraging recognition right from the very start, from the very first minute somebody walks on site and considers a job with you, let alone the person who's been there 25 years. Broaden out your view of recognition so that it is everyone from the prospective candidate right through to the seasoned veteran in your organization. Oftentimes we have a very narrow view that only certain people get recognized, whether it be the top performers or the people who have been there for a certain number of years of service. When you make recognition conditional and that there are finite categories, then we don't treat it as part of the way we work around here. And frankly, it takes the recognition out of the hands of your whole people. And really, when everyone in your organization sees recognition as part of their job, then you have an army of problem solvers helping to address any cultural issues that you are currently faced with. I hope you found this really helpful. Now, this was a lot of stuff in a short period of time, but I really want to validate it and give you a video that you can share with your colleagues if they don't quite understand and see how recognition fits as a fundamental core operational priority in your workplace. Why don't you share it if you are still wrestling this issue to the ground? My name is Sarah McVanel, bringing you messages around your greatness magnified every week. In fact, if you haven't subscribed yet, why don't you be part of our YouTube community? Because I'm committed to making sure you, your organization, and your career to be as successful as possible.